Hey everyone, welcome back. So, last week I was a couple of minutes late. This week, why not be a couple of minutes early? I managed to get everything set up a little earlier than I thought. So, why not jump right in, guys? So, I hope everyone is doing well. I'm doing honestly for a Monday, I'm doing really well. Sometimes I'm a little bit down on Mondays, like till the stream starts. But today was a good Monday. Like, sometimes you've got a good Monday, and today was one of those good Mondays. So, as usual, I'm always looking forward to the stream. And tonight's going to be a little different because we're going to be talking Switch, but we're going to be talking a lot of Xbox. Because I'll be honest, the biggest news that happened last week was Xbox. And you know what? It's rare that we get like it's been a while that we haven't had a solid Xbox W, and I think it's important to highlight not only the Switch stuff, but when the other companies have a big W, it's good to highlight it as well. And I do think, however, that there are secrets hidden about the Switch in the Xbox showcase. And we're going to be talking about that as we go through things tonight. I do want to talk quickly about the SNES update. It's maybe not going to be a major one, but I think it is important to note it. And I've been thinking more and more of the impact of the Joycon mouses, if it is a thing, but it looks more and more like it's going to be a thing. And even though my first instincts were, I think they're still spot on, like I think it's going to be a big impact, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think of these other applications. And I sort of wanted to go through all those games or applications that we could see coming out of using the Joy-Cons as mice. Because I think at first glance, like FPS came to mind, and we talked about that last week. But I'm going to keep the secrets till we get to that because I think at first glance there were some subgenres that are maybe less the type of games I play, but that are equally gonna benefit from it than the others. Let's stay hydrated. Okay, guys. So we're also gonna be doing something special after tonight's stream. When I say after tonight's stream is that I'm going to temporarily shut the stream down and we're going to start it back up because the other day I said I was going to get a box of Lorcana boosters and I did. I gave in to the evil. And I know Corey wants to see me open them. So I'm going to be doing that, but we're going to do it on a separate stream and we're going to do it after everything that we normally do on Warp Zone. Because I know a lot of you aren't here for this. So, I don't want people to have to sit through this to get to the gaming stuff. So we're going to do this, but I'm going to shut down the stream, then start it up really quick with like opening Lorcana. By the way, I won't update the thumbnail. I'm going to update it after because I don't have a thumbnail ready. But we're just going to shut it down, start it back up. And then we're gonna open up the boosters for those of you that want to come back and watch the opening of the booster packs. We're also I'm also going to talk about some channel updates because for those of you that are here on a regular basis, I did talk about future goals with the channel and possible changes that would be happening to the way streams work on the channel. And I told you guys I needed to think about it a lot because I was thinking about what would be the best plan of action. And I think I finally found, for the moment, how I want to go about transitioning to making sure that the channel becomes more efficient. So, by the way, it's not cutting out any content. In reality, it should be even more content than before. It's just probably going to be delivered slightly differently from the, like where the replays are going to go for the streams and all that. Because as I said, there's, the way YouTube works is a little weird where, after a stream, when I publish the stream, it goes into the feed like a video. And the people that watch the videos and watch the streams are not necessarily all the same public. So what that actually does is it makes the videos look like they're less successful than they are, because the same public isn't watching both things, or like not all of the same public is watching both things. So I think I finally have a plan of action to deal with that, and we're gonna start. I'm gonna explain that, and expect me to be talking about it a lot lately, because we have to get basically my second channel monetized. Because I have a second channel that I made a while ago that I sort of started putting content on, then I stopped. And we're going to start again, but it has to be content that is not going to take anything away from the main channel. So it's basically going to be a repository for like streams and stuff. And I think that is going to be the absolute best way to go about it. Actually, let's start with that, because I need your guys' help. Okay, I know that most of you here are probably maybe even already subscribed, because I did it a while ago, but I changed the Maple Syrup Gaming Reels channel to just Maple Syrup Gaming Extra. Okay, so this is going to be all the side content that doesn't necessarily fit on the main channel perfectly. So it'll be the long form streams, and basically what I plan on doing is I will be streaming from the main channel. So streams will still be coming out on the main channel so that all subscribers gets the notification that I'm streaming. However, what I'm going to do is when streams are done, the replays are going to go on the side channel. You understand? So that way, only people that are subscribed to the side channel will get necessarily push the content for the replays. And however, this will only happen once the second channel is monetized. So what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be putting some content, like I did a separate video for the ETB unboxing the other day, the Pokemon ETB unboxing. But you understand, it'll be heavily unedited content to just get to get the channel monetized. And then this channel will be the repository for all the replays of the streams and stuff like that. And any content that I want to do that maybe doesn't fit into Switch gaming. Okay? So that for the people that really want to, like, when I really want to have some fun with some content, I'm going to be able to do it without hurting the main channel. So when I said that it'll end up being more content, that's what I mean. Is like right now, sometimes I have a really fun idea, and I don't do it because I think it's going to hurt the main channel, because I don't think enough people are going to watch the content. Okay? So that's basically the plan. Okay? But it'll be a transitional plan. Like for the moment, I'm going to be putting up a few videos here and there. A lot of the TCG stuff, like the replay of the TCG tonight, will go directly on that, like the opening of the packs. Thanks again for signing your Tanuki Justice t-shirt. It came in today. Guy, don't tell the other people we did that. Everyone's gonna start asking for one, dude. I told you to keep it a secret. I can't trust you, Wild One Man. I cannot trust you. That's the problem. Okay. And I'm gonna try to do also more unedited gameplay. Okay, where basically, when I'm playing games but I'm not streaming, I'm going to probably put the gameplay on there too. Like, 20 minutes of gameplay from Ender Magnolia. Okay? And stuff like that. Stuff that doesn't appear on the front channel, but it has to be stuff that I can put there and not take any time away from the main channel. Because just so you understand, the side channel will always be like the side channel. Okay? So, I would really appreciate if you're not subscribed already, if you can head over to Maple Syrup Gaming Extra without an E, so it's XTRA, like extra, and you can if you can become a subscriber there, it would be greatly appreciated. We're already at 529 subscribers, so we're actually not that far away. I just need to get a few view time, like a little bit more view time, and we need to hit 1,000 subscribers. So it's not like really crazy as an objective. So I might be mentioning it on the videos like here and there. Don't be surprised. But that was the channel update that I wanted to get out of the way. Okay, because like I said, I really want to push this year with the Switch 2 coming out to doing this full time if I can. It doesn't mean it'll happen this year, but I want to do a push towards that. And I have to streamline the content so that for sponsors, the channel looks the best it can. Okay. Because like I said, right now, the problem is I have videos that get like 5,000 views, and then I get like what looks like videos that get 600 views. So what it does is it brings down the average views per video really low. So for sponsors, it doesn't look good, because instead of having an average view per video of like 5,000, I have an average view per video of like 2,500, because it gets cut in half because of all the stream replays, which is okay. I don't expect like as many people to sit through a 3-hour stream as to watch a 15-minute deal video. It's just normal. That's what's supposed to happen. Like long form content like that, less people are supposed to do it, watch it. But it's the downside of YouTube, is that metrics and numbers are very important, and sponsors aren't going to take the time to understand that before they decide to, invest in the channel or watch it, or, choose you for their stuff. So it's a necessary evil. Message is done. Appreciate any subscribers there. Drop a quick view on the video. You can play it in the background while you're doing something else. It'll help the hours accumulate as well. Hint, hint. But don't abuse it. I don't want anyone like putting it on repeat though, because YouTube will flag that and it's not any better. But yeah, so that's that. Now that that's out of the way, we're going to start talking about more of like our normal content for tonight. So we're probably going to jump right into things for tonight. See, it wasn't a huge channel update thing. And I might actually do a special video for that. Now, first, I just want to say hi to everyone I see in the chat, because man, you guys have been talking. Hey, Nanaki, Andrew, Tagade, Frenchy Mom, Squirrel, welcome tonight. Wild One, Grovel, unfortunately you're here. We have to deal with you. Very sad. Annie, welcome. Hope you're doing better now. Like, I know it's been getting better over time, but I hope you're like really, really good. Now, I hope like you're almost back. Hey, Corey, what's up? Corey, did you get the plan for the cards? Did you hear the plan for the cards? Because we're basically going to shut the stream down. Oh, I think I wrote it to you on Discord, so I think you already know what the plan is. But basically, when we're done the normal stream tonight, we're going to be shutting it down and starting it back up to open up the Lorcana cards. Squirrel, welcome. Buggy Proc, welcome. Champ Dancer, welcome tonight, man. And Neo Blitz, hey, man. Hey, hope you're doing well. Can you get a signed T-shirt? Yeah, if you want to come down to Montreal, I'll do a signed T-shirt, bro. But no. Oh, sad news as well. One last thing I wanted to get out of the way. I was not chosen for the Switch 2 experience. So I am going to go on the wait list on the 29th, but I was not chosen in the first round of the Switch 2 experience. So unfortunately, as it seems, and since in Canada there's only one place you can go, I'm a little bit bummed about that, however. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Okie doke. So, let's start with our first story for tonight. And we got an update to Nintendo Switch Online. And I've got to tell you guys, there's at least one game. I only knew one of the 3 games. It's very rare that we get an update, and I don't know the majority of the games. But we got 3 new games coming to the SNES. We got Fatal Fury 2, which is the game I know and I love, honestly, on Super Nintendo. after Street Fighter, Fatal Fury was among some of the best fighters. Wait, no. Hold on. Scratch that. After Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, because like Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 were on Super Nintendo. So after Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, I think Fatal Fury was definitely top tier fighting game. And I love Terry Bogard. I love my Burr Knuckle. And why did that start playing? Because Topaz must have hit the button with her tail. So we got Fatal Fury 2 on the SNES app. We also got Ninja Boy, which honestly, I'm actually really excited to try out. It seems like a really original take on an action RPG, which we'll see in the trailer. And lastly, we have Sute Hakun. That is a game that was exclusive to Japan, but a lot of people have been hyping up. They've been saying it's really worth a playthrough. So we're going to take a look at the trailer first, and then we're sort of going to, go back through it. King of Fighters and Samurai Shodown. I like better Fatal Fury than King of Fighters. Like, I know it's like there's overlap between King of Fighters and Fatal Fury, but personally, on the SNES, we're not talking about further iterations after the SNES, but on the SNES, I like better Fatal Fury. I found Fatal Fury had more. They had, if I remember well, they had bigger sprites on average, and Samurai Shodown I really liked, but not as much as King of Fighters or Fatal Fury. Like, I would say Samurai Shodown was very good, but it was after both those other series. But you're right. We also had King of Fighters and Samurai Shodown that were excellent series on the SNES. So let's take a look at the trailer. Mai Shiranui, who was just added to Street Fighter 6, by the way. And let's just say they did her justice in Street Fighter 6. Mai Shiranui looks good. Ninja Boy, like I said, is the one that I actually am most interested about. Because look, like, it's an RPG, then you get into the fight, and then it looks like it's action gameplay once you're in the fight. It looks almost like a side-scrolling beat-em-up when you're in the fight. I think this was like an early iteration or different attempt on action RPG. Like, that's the only thing I can take away from what you see in the trailer. And lastly, we have this, which is a puzzle game, like a puzzle platformer. But every review or every comment I've heard about this game is everyone's been saying that it's actually insanely good. And it's really disappointing that we never got it in North America back in the day. And I find it interesting that Nintendo is like helping the West discover these like retro games that we never had a chance to try back when the SNES was actually out. And it's a little bit dumb because an SNES can play any cartridge from Japan. You just basically need to do a small mod that takes about 20 seconds, and you're like, there's only a physical blockage on the cartridge. All you need to do is cut off a couple of clamps on the inside of the SNES, which doesn't damage it in any way functionally. And you can play Japanese carts. Like, all my carts for the SNES, well, not all, but like 70% of my carts for the SNES are Japanese because I have like overpriced North American games, but in Japanese. Just to give you an example. Hold on. It's pretty funny because I'm pretty sure, like, I have Turtles in Time, but the Japanese version. Okay, yes, the label's a little scratched off, but I paid $5 for Turtles in Time because I have the SNES Japanese version. Like, I can show you, like, Final Fight 2, but, like, that's not what I want to show. I'm pretty sure I have Fatal Fury 2. F-Zero, Adventure Island. Oh, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fighting game. Tiny Toon Adventures. Hold on, I'm pretty sure I have it here. Oh, dude. Mega Man X. If you want a cartridge of Mega Man X on the SNES, they are crazy expensive. I paid this $4 because I got the Japanese version. And by the way, if you're a speedrunner, the Japanese version is faster because the text goes by faster in the story sections. But overall, just saying that it's really fun that we're getting all these like Japanese carts, Japanese exclusive games in North America, because it is really, it gets us. I think it's going to get a lot of people into discovering games that they never would have. Let me just see. Cham Dancer, for a knee, my head won't be in the tube. I use 2 MRIs though. I do 2 times. Keep track of my MS progression. Oh. Hold on, let me just see. Thanks for having expensive MS. Wow, that sucks, man. That really sucks that your limit. You're already hit the limit, but at least your MRIs will be free. Yeah, man, that really sucks. I mean, you should immigrate to Canada, man. Here it would almost all be free. It would almost all be free, or if you have like a decent job, like even the medication will probably cost you like $5. But I'm just teasing, but it is one of the big advantages that we have here. So yeah, I'm really glad that they're doing this, like not only taking the classic SNES games that we know, but actually giving us SNES games that a lot of people would have probably never paid. So that was pretty much it for the SNES update for this month. I mean, small story to start out with. There's not much more to say here other than I would say if you're looking for a great game to play with a friend, Fatal Fury 2 is going to give you a lot of fun times. A lot of fun times. Just like Street Fighter 2 would give you like some really fun times. Fatal Fury 2 is going to give you a different, and especially if you're playing with a friend and neither of you have ever played the game, it'll sort of like even out the playing field. Because most likely your friend won't know by heart all the moves and everything. Perfect. So we have that out of the way. Now, to be honest, after that, the only really new stuff is I wanted to jump in to everything we saw from the Xbox showcase. Because honestly, there wasn't one really bad game in the whole Xbox showcase. And I know that sounds weird to say because you're like, wow, we have to congratulate them for not having a bad game. But I mean, not even remotely bad. I think every game announced is going to have a public, is worth checking out. Now, does it mean every game will be excellent and will be like a 9 or 10 out of 10? No, it doesn't. But I do think that none of these games automatically looked like a dud. Now, I will say, to me, there were 2 definite standouts. But I wanted to look at them again with you guys in the order they were announced. Now, we're not going to go through the whole Xbox showcase because there was a lot of talky talk, blah, blah, blah. We're going to go through the 4 trailers that were put together, which are like these sizzle reel versions of the trailers that were put together by Xbox after the official announcements. And we'll try to do them pretty much in the order that they were announced in the show. And at the end, I'm going to tell you guys, I do think that we got secretly some announcements for the Nintendo Switch 2. I think that at least 2 of these games, 3 of these games are coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. And I think Xbox has a deal with Nintendo not to say anything till April 2nd. And I think April 2nd, everything will be coming to light very clearly. And I'll show you why, because if we've already talked about how powerful the Switch is supposed to be and all that, you will see, sorry about that, guys. You will see that I think it is easy to assume these things. Now, Let's start with probably for me, what was the funnest announcement of the whole show. I'm going to say it this way because it was not my favorite announcement, although it came extremely close. But it was definitely the funnest announcement because this one, I think very, very few people were anticipating. And that is the announcement of Ninja Gaiden 4. I mean, when we saw it, when I was watching the showcase, because I was watching it at home, I had to work, okay? So I was watching it like in a replay at the end of my workday. Unfortunately, I couldn't stream it. I wasn't off. We're going to get back into that wild one. We're going to get back into that. We're going to get right into it in this discussion, what my wild Switch 2 idea was last week. Because I think we might have even had the Switch release date revealed by Microsoft without anyone knowing it. Without anyone knowing it. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to get to it. Okay? So when I was watching this as a replay and I saw Team Ninja come on the screen, like I watched it blind, so I didn't know what the announcements were beforehand. And I was like, oh my freaking God. And you see the, the setting of the beginning of the trailer is so amazing. It was clear what it was going towards. And it actually turned out to be a brand new Ninja Gaiden game. I don't know if you realize that means that we're getting 3 Ninja Gaiden games this year. Because there's still the 2D Ninja Gaiden game that was announced. We're getting Ninja Gaiden 4. And we're getting a 3rd Ninja Gaiden game as well. We actually already got the 3rd one. So let's take a look at the Ninja Gaiden 4 trailer, and we'll get into them one at a time. Like when you saw KT, like Koei Tecmo, and then you see this, and then you see Team Ninja. There was only one way this could go. There was only one place this could go.
Several years ago, the Dark Dragon, youngest of the divine dragon gods, wreaked havoc across the world. The plot was ultimately thwarted through the efforts of a sole ninja.
Ryu Hayabusa.
The Dark Dragon's husk remained, and from this husk fell an endless downpour of cursed rain. The abandoned Tokyo continues.
The worst is like when I saw this new protagonist, I'm like, oh man, don't tell me my man is not in this one.
Mission.
Platinum Games. And guys, Platinum Games. Can anyone tell me what system Platinum Games has released most of, like, a lot of their recent games on? Can anyone tell me what system their expertise might have been needed for? Huh? Yeah. Like I said, Bayonetta, Switch exclusives. I'm telling you guys right now, these are reveals of Switch games at the same time. They just can't say it yet. And I'll show you even an interview that happened with Phil Spencer to tell you guys that this is exactly what happened. Nintendo was pissed at Platinum. Yeah, but Nintendo likes money. Nintendo likes money, and Nintendo loves Xbox, and Xbox loves Nintendo right now. They're like, if it's between making money and staying friendly with Xbox and being pissed at Platinum, I guarantee you money and being friends with Xbox wins out. Okay? It wins out immediately.
Mission.
Yes, Topaz. I know it's Ninja Gaiden 4. I know, Topaz. And I love that they haven't toned down like the action whatsoever. Oh no, do not do this to me. Give me a sec, guys. I might have to reload this trailer. We'll give it one more chance.
No escape.
So like I was saying, I'm so glad that they didn't tone down the action whatsoever. They're going for the bloody violence that the game was always known for. Stylish as hell. And you guys remember what I told you last week about trailers? They're showing long sections of uninterrupted fighting, not just flashes of 2 seconds before going to another scene. That means that they know that their product looks good.
Whatever your clan is plotting, it ends here. So you've come, Raven.
And there we go. My man is back.
I will execute my mission.
Woo! Man, just this blew the lid off of everything. And it's actually sad for the other games that followed this, except like the last game. But like the 2 other games that had to follow this, do you know how much it hurt their vibe, the fact that this was the first announcement? Like, let's be honest, they had to start with this because they had to blow the lid off of the place. But no matter what game was gonna follow this, like, it immediately lost cool points. You know what I mean? It looks sick. And the most important part is this. Guys, it is coming to Xbox Series X and S. And I know you're going to say, but every game on Xbox has to come to X and S. But it's just confirmed that if the Switch is supposed to be about as powerful as a PS4 Pro or an Xbox Series S, the fact that this game is made to run on the X and S means what? It can run on the Switch too. And on top of it, they have a studio that is used to making games on Switch 2, backing them. Like, theoretically, there was no direct reason why Platinum Games was needed for this. I am almost sure that they came on board to smooth this out so that it can release on Switch 2 at the same time in the fall. And I'm pretty sure that it's going to happen. Can I guarantee you 100%? No, because I don't have insider information. It's just that this would be a given, especially since we already have the first 3 Ninja Gaidens in a collection available on the Switch. And most likely with the Switch 2, those games are going to run like butter on the Switch on the Switch 2. But either way, our next guys, I'm a master ninja. It's going to be easy as hell. No controllers will be wasted in this game. No, I'm joking. I haven't played Gaiden in a while. I need to warm up. Honestly, if this gets confirmed for Switch 2, I really have to put a plan in action where we play through all first 3 games on stream before this one comes out. And I really want to do that. Like, if this gets confirmed for Switch in the fall, we can plan out where we play through on stream all 3 of the games. Like, I'll do special streams for this. I don't care. Like, we'll set up for like 2 months where every Wednesday night I'll stream for like 3 hours till we beat all 3 of the Ninja Gaiden games on stream, as a warm-up to be ready for Ninja Gaiden 4. And talking about the previous Ninja Gaiden games, we got another announcement at the same time, and this was a shadow drop. Because yes, not only are we getting Ninja Gaiden 4, but they announced a remaster of Ninja Gaiden 2 as a shadow drop. Look, I'll be honest, Ninja Gaiden 2 is probably the best of the three. It is probably the best of the three. Because the first one, they were feeling things out. It was an excellent game, but you could see that there were growing pains. Like, there was some stiffness to the controls. The combat system was fun, but was maybe not as fluid as it could be. Ninja Gaiden 2 pretty much fixed all of that. Now, some people will say that Ninja Gaiden 3 is just as good. I would say Ninja Gaiden 3 felt a little watered down compared to 2. I still feel that Ninja Gaiden 2 was the sweet spot. So not only did we get an announcement for Ninja Gaiden 4, in my opinion, we got a remaster of the best of the previous Ninja Gaiden games, which was Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. Now let's watch through the remaster trailer, but just to tell you, if you have Steam right now, I would definitely tell you, if you play on a Steam Deck or on Steam, and you want a challenging action game, but that is stylish as hell and that's going to go over the top, just like a Bayonetta game, this is worth the time. This is worth the time. But let's start the trailer, because I can talk about Ninja Gaiden for a long, long time, man. If you think about it, this series has been running since the NES. Like I said, they made the combat so much more fluid in the second game than the first one. The first one was fun, but a lot of the combat sometimes felt a bit stiff.
My path leads through the land of the dead. And thus the sun sets on the Dragon Ninja bloodline. Genshi, go back to hell. All paths before me are cruel and arduous. Our time has come.
Man, like, I only played about the first 2 hours on when the collection came out, but just seeing that, I'm getting like chills of like replaying the whole thing, and the graphics are so upgraded, man. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be when the Switch 2 launches, this game will be available. It's not gonna be like an official launch title, but I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be this game is gonna be available. Number one, they did it in Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine plays very well with the Switch, meaning that this is probably an easy port to the Switch. Well, Switch 2. Because like I said, Switch 1 could hardly run. It ran with difficulty the normal version of Ninja Gaiden 2. So I do think that this is going to be like a Switch 2 exclusive. Yeah, the combat in 2 is insane. Like I said, that's really where they upped it. I would ultimately say that Ninja Gaiden 1 was harder than 2. But it was harder than 2 because the combat was so much stiffer and you were so much more restricted in combat. While 2 really opened up the gate to have more fluid and fun combat, it lowered ultimately the difficulty level a bit, but in a good way. Like, it wasn't a cheap difficulty drop. It was just like, oh, now you can actually react to shit. While Ninja Gaiden 1, if you didn't know what the guy was going to do ahead of time, sometimes you just got effed because you didn't have the time to sort of adapt your reactions, if that makes any sense. And if you've played Ninja Gaiden 1, you'll know what I mean, especially in the boss fights. If you don't know what the boss is going to do before he does it, a lot of the boss fights, you're just going to ultimately die. While Ninja Gaiden 2, you have time to sort of adjust on the fly a lot of the time. But, yeah, no. Excellent game. If you haven't played it yet, amazing. So, like, look, these were the first 2 announcements, okay? These were the first 2 announcements, and shit was going wild at this point. Then we got the next game, which was South of Midnight. And this is a game, honestly, I'm sort of divided. I'm pretty sure it's going to release on the Switch, but I'm sort of divided on whether I want to play it or not. Not because it doesn't look good. It's just that I think we're going to have so much crazy shit to play this year that I'm not sure this game has drawn me in enough to be like, it's one of those must-play games. But let's go through the trailer together and we're going to see. So this was the 3rd announcement. And like I said, I feel sorry for this game because it had to follow Ninja Gaiden 4 and the remake of Ninja Gaiden 2. Like, unless you came out with, like, Silk Song, and even Silk Song, I'm not sure would have, because it doesn't cater to the same crowd. But unless you came out with, like, GTA 6, it was going to be hard to top, like, Ninja Gaiden 4 and 2 and not look like a down point to those other 2 games. But let's take a look at South of Midnight, the story trailer.
Picking up out there. Did you pack everything?
Mama, this ain't my first hurricane. I know what to do.
As long as you didn't forget the...
Flashlights and batteries.
Oh, should we got 5 minutes. Let's go.
Won't be rushed if you didn't.
Don't mumble. Speak on it.
I said we wouldn't be rushed if you didn't waste all that time at the shelter.
Now, you want to bring this up right now.
I'm just saying.
Hazel, please.
We might need some help.
I'm just going to put my Super Nintendo games away while we watch the trailer.
Hazel!
Is that Hazel? The trailer got swept downstream with Mama in it, and it ain't just about Mama.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back.
I'm seeing these things.
Hey, Hazel.
Who's there?
Oh, what's the controversy? Is it because it's minorities again and stuff like that? Because like that is like I have no problem with games featuring minorities, especially down south and stuff like that. Like it makes perfect sense. So like 0-0
What are you talking about?
You can't see
zero like problem with that.
We ought to be able to rescue her mama easy. I can teach you the rest.
Or are you talking about the low frame rate, the fake low frame rate that they're doing to make it look like stop motion? Like, I think it looks stylish as hell. I'm not gonna lie. I like the art direction and I like the stylishness of it.
Can I help you, son?
You know anything about that creepy old house up on the hill?
Yes, that was once the home of Hug and Molly.
Wait, is Hug and Molly real?
All the stories are real, darling. Until you call.
We're gonna talk about the low frame rate stuff.
They men parts of your soul so ripped you'd forgotten they were ever one piece.
I came all this way to hear your story. The real story, Itchy.
It was complicated. This is grown folks' business. This ain't for you.
I ain't no damn child.
I think we're gonna have to wait to see the combat and the actual gameplay. Like I know we're gonna see a bit of it here, but I think we're really gonna have to wait to see like the moment-to-moment gameplay before I make a decision. Because a lot of this looks epic in its design. We've still got a while. Oh no, it's the end, man. That was a quick 3 minutes. I think that it was a very rough decision to do the sort of low frame rate, because I don't know if you guys got it, but the low frame rate during the combat sections, that's voluntary. It's they want to make the game look like it's stop motion, sort of like you're watching Coraline or a Tim Burton movie. You understand? Like the game, they want it to look like that. I just think that they need a different execution for that. They need a different execution for that. I think that it's making it look too choppy and not voluntary. That's where I think I'm a little bit like, oh my God. But that's why I said we need to see the moment to moment gameplay. Because don't forget that in a 3-minute trailer, your eyes don't have the time to get used to that type of motion. For example, if you've never watched like a Tim Burton stop action movie and you watch just 30 seconds of it, you're going to be like, what the F is this? But if you're watching one of those movies, after 15 minutes, your eyes get used to it and you sort of forget that that's what you're watching. And your eyes aren't so put off by it because naturally your brain sort of like is like, okay, this is what this is. So I do think that seeing it over a 3-minute trailer is doing an injustice to the game that will not necessarily reflect how the gameplay is going to feel once your brain and your eyes have time to get used to it. That's like someone who looks at a 30 FPS game for 5 minutes and says, I can't play this, it's 30 FPS. I'm not saying a 60 FPS game isn't better than a 30 FPS game. I'm just saying that often if you sit down and you play the game for like 30 minutes, it's not going to be as jarring as if you look at it at first. You're a real big fan. Yeah, I played it. Yeah, exactly. We played it Ender Magnolia last week, but yeah, so I think that South of Midnight, I want to give it its chance, and I'm going to be watching some gameplay when it comes out, because obviously right now, I don't have an Xbox Series X or S, and I don't have Game Pass, and I'm not going to buy it on Steam. I don't have time right now. Like, it's not a question of wanting to play the game, it's that this game isn't good enough where it becomes a priority above everything else coming out right now. But I do think that this game will come to Switch as well. Basically, I'll be honest, I think all these games that were announced are coming to Switch. Okay? However, I do think that these are going to have a later release date. Ninja Gaiden 2, the remaster, I think it's going to be very, very fast. However, South of Midnight and the next game we're going to look at, which is Clair Obscur, I think they're going to wait probably for like a fall to winter release. If you don't have time for Nine Souls, then you don't have time for anything else. I know. I really wish I would have had time to play Nine Souls on stream. It's just like, you know, I try to prioritize always games that have come out like in the last week or two, except for like massive releases that I might play like later. But like I said, we're going to do a big push this year to go full time. When I'm going to be full time, we're going to be missing a lot less games. Okay. When I'm going to be full time, we're going to be missing a lot less games. We're going to do a big push for that this year. Hopefully my plan to like separate the content and all that does help a bit and get us to where we need to go. The Switch 2 release is also going to be a big kick for the channel. So I do think we're going to look at like a make it or break it year for getting there. Okay? A make it or break it year for getting there. So South of Midnight, I do think that there was a lot of hate because I did see a lot of chatter online about like, oh, it's a DEI game and all that. To me, this is completely garbage. Because a DEI game, to me, feels like implanting a minority where they're not supposed to be or something like that. And even personally, I have no trouble with that. Like, I really don't give a crap if my character is black, white, brown, or yellow, or green, or whatever color they are. And I like South of Midnight, like to me, if the characters wouldn't have been majoritarily like, you know, black, I would have felt weird. Let's be honest. It's I mean, especially the setting that they have here with like the bayou and like, you know, a very like I don't want to say voodoo inspired, but obviously there's references to voodoo and bayou magic and stuff like that. It wouldn't make sense that there wasn't a majority of characters that were black. Like, please, guys, let's like, and I know this doesn't refer to the people probably here because I think my audience is very like, you know, like we don't give a crap about this stuff on a majority basis. But for everyone hating on it for that, I'm like, can you please just like get out of your head for 2 seconds, okay? And just realize that like sometimes it's normal to have a cast that is majoritarily of color. It's like if you make a game in South America and you make everyone white and or you're complaining that like they're Latinos. You know, it's like, oh my God, we're in Mexico and there's Latinos. Yeah, is there a problem with that? Like what the F, man? But yeah, anyway. So I do think this is going to be a very interesting game. And, you know, I just wanted, like I said, I know it doesn't really apply to us here, but like it is very something. It is very something that like I saw comments about it and I'm the first person to say like, okay, this feels like it wasn't needed. But in this case, I'm like, no, it's the opposite. Like if it would have been weird if it wasn't done like this. After that, we got, to me at least, what was my least interesting announcement of the presentation, but that's saying a lot, where even my least interesting announcement was still feeling good, and that is Claire Obscure Expedition 33. So let's take a look at the trailer. It's a turn-based RPG. We're gonna jump straight into the trailer because
I've been having nightmares.
I think the trailer will talk for itself.
Legacy can take many forms, right?
I do find that the main character has like bug eyes. They made her eyes way too big and she has like bug eyes. Every time you see her, it's like all I can see is her eyes like this.
Wait, I hear something.
Like the girl with the red hair? I've got to say though, the combat looks really, really good. I love how they were doing the damage numbers and stuff.
I still can't believe they exist.
To what do we owe the pleasure of your company? I just need foot. Aha!
You can turn into a Nevron.
Bonjour, mes amis.
We need to cross the sea.
Hey,
Bulger said you could help?
All right. Ready to sail like a snail.
This is a much better way to travel.
I'm gonna say right away, the way they're doing the damage counters and all that to me feels like a real throwback to classic Final Fantasy. Like, you know, like Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, obviously way upgraded graphics. But if I was Square Enix, I would be looking at this game and I would be realizing this is where Final Fantasy should have gone, not where it did go. And I'm not saying that the Final Fantasy 16 wasn't a good game. I just think that if they would have done what they did here, that game would have been a much bigger success with its core audience. Look at what you can do with turn-based combat. Like, why? Why did you want to go for like action gameplay?
We're gonna take down the painters, just the three of us?
I didn't take you for a coward.
I'm not a coward. Patriots. Us.
As long as even one of us stands, our fight
Dude.
is not over.
Can they fix the bug eyes, please? That's my one request here. I don't remember yet. There's a little last scene.
So very sorry. My friend.
So if you guys didn't understand, because I know I checked out a little bit of the backstory here, it's a really crazy storyline. They're basically in this world. The reason it's called Expedition 33 is that basically there's an event in the world that happens, and basically every year, everyone that is 34, like everyone that was born like 34 years ago gets eliminated from the world, like a sort of Thanos snap type thing. Okay. And then basically the year after, it's everyone who was born 33 years ago and 32 years ago and 31 years ago and so forth, till theoretically they're going to hit year 0 and everyone will be gone. And Expedition 33 is basically they're on an expedition to stop it before they hit Expedition 33, and everyone who's 33 disappears. So it's actually a really crazy and awesome concept. I really like the storyline. I really like the, like, I think that this is an incredible visual evolution of turn-based combat. There's just one problem with the game. Can you fix the bug eyes on this chick? Like, I don't know what it is, but like every time we see her, like her eyes like drive me nuts. Like there's something wrong. Like she has the bug eyes. Okay. No, yeah, but the other characters don't have it as bad as she does. Like, look there when she like turns her eyes sideways. Hold on. Oh, there. No, it was that like one scene where she's like she does like the turn. Like, who does that? Like, you know, you look sideways. You're like, who does? Like, it's like the bug eyes, man. Stop body shaming her. Dude, I'm not body shaming her. She's not a real person. You can't body shame a not real person. Okay? Right away. She looks like my ex. Dude. I have so many jokes coming to me now, but I must stop. I must stop. No jokes. Never mind. It's all good. But ultimately, game looks amazing. And it's a lot to say that a game that looks amazing was my least exciting announcement of the whole thing. Okay? Now, to finish it up. But ultimately, I think it's going to be a great game. I have confidence, and the storyline looks funky enough, the character designs look crazy enough, and the combat looks absolutely insane. And like I said, Square Enix, take notes. Please, give us Final Fantasy VII that's going to blow the lid off of, like, turn-based combat. Yeah, exactly. I can get over the bug eyes, okay? I can get over it. It's just that Microsoft, if you can, like, fix that, still, I would love you forever for that. Fix my bug eyes. Okay. Then came the absolutely favorite announcement. And it's really something, because I was really torn between Ninja Gaiden 4 and this game. But when I saw the gameplay, shit, man, this looks good. God damn, this looks good. Okay? We're going to watch this. But I'm just going to tell you right away. I had a moment when I saw this gameplay. I had a moment. and I can't get into details, but it was good. It was good. I tell you immediately, this felt like Spawn. Like I'm a comic book fan. I think you all know it. Like for the people who follow the channel, I love my Marvel movies. I love that. But there is one character in comics that has always been like underloved, and that is Spawn. And immediately when I saw this, like the Doomslayer, I mean, I was right away seeing medieval Spawn. Like, and this was my favorite iteration of Spawn. Like, I was seeing this dude, like, in, like, freaking Doomslayer armor. And, like, like I said, I'm a huge comic fan. I love Spawn. I really wish he would get more love. Like, I hoped we get a really good Spawn movie one day. But I was immediately getting Dark Age Spawn vibes. Okay? And this is Doom the Dark Ages. And then I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure these people, I'm pretty sure they inspired themselves visually, like, because, you know, inspiration is a big part of any artistic journey. I'm pretty sure they inspired themselves by McFarlane Spawn. I always found that Doomslayer looked like a McFarlane creation to begin with. Dude, Michael J. White was like... The worst is Michael J. White was like an amazing choice for Spawn. They just had a shit-ass movie that they put him in. The worst is it's not that awful. Like, there's fun parts of it when you rewatch it today, but yeah, we just need a way better Spawn movie. Let's just put it at that. Let's get back to Dark Ages, because I can path off for a long time on Spawn if we get into it. Like, just so you know, I read every Spawn comic book, like, except what was the one done in like a weird black and white style? It was Spawn. Anyway, there was one that, like, I really couldn't get into the graphical style of the comic book, but I've read of all Dark Ages. I read all of the main Spawn, you know, Spawn comic book line. I even, like, I read Hellspawn. I'd have to go back in them. I have a lot of them still at home in, like, boxes. I still have a lot of the comics. I know I have the whole Dark Ages comic line. I know I still have that whole line. I kept it because, like I said, it was like my favorite. And it always pissed me off that we never got a true end to the story, because they ended the storyline and we got no true end to it. Well, no, not true. The main character died, but like randomly in a stupid fight, and you're like, you're effing with me, right? He's gonna come back next issue and like something's gonna happen, and no, it never happened. Wait, I just noticed under your cap, the bill has a graphic. I'll show you guys after. Yeah, it's Godzilla. It's a Godzilla, because this is Godzilla. It's like a... Oh, no, it's Kong. Yeah, it's Godzilla versus Kong, so it's Kong. Okay, let's get back to the trailer, though. Man, the music is freaking insane. It might get copyrighted, by the way. Oh, shit. Guys, you gotta tell me that shit quicker. Grovel, you can't type quicker. We're replaying it. My bad. I'm sorry. It's not like I'm sad that I have to watch this again, you know? It's not like I'm sad here. Now you should all be seen now. Definitely. I think Marvel Rivals, we should get a version of Captain America with like saw blades on the shield. Man, when I saw this mech, I was like, holy crap. Now.
Get the narrative out of the codex and into a new plane.
Oh shit. Oh man, okay, hold on, I ruined this. I forgot that there was the interview after this. Oh no, it's because it kicked into the next trailer. Never mind, we're not watching this. It kicked into the Dark Ages, like the 11-minute thingamajig. But I'm going to summarize it. That's why I say we're not going to kick it in, because we're not going to watch like 11 minutes of them chit-chatting about it. But basically what I love is that they basically explained their thought on each one of the different Doom games and how each one of the Doom games, they wanted the combat to feel distinct. And this game is going to have a stand and fight sort of philosophy. You know, like how, you know, in a lot of the Doom games, you sort of had to move around, you had to dodge, you had to thing. This game is all about standing and fighting and feeling extremely powerful. Which is why you have the huge mech, which is why you have the saw shield. Like, you ain't going to be running from the demons in this one. You're going to be standing, fighting, and, you know, using the proper, like, weapons at the right time. But this is going to be insane. And what I actually wanted to say is that this is my theory. This is my theory. This could be a launch title for the Switch 2. And May 15th might turn out to be the launch date for the Switch 2. And I think that if you want to headline the Switch 2 with an amazing third-party game that lines up around May to June, I would definitely say that this is the game to do it. Especially that Doom 1 and Doom Eternal ended up being dream ports to the original Switch. They sold very well on the Switch. They showcased the power that the original Switch could have. What better way, on top of Nintendo first-party games, to showcase the power of the Switch 2 than to launch Doom the Dark Ages on Xbox, Series X, S, Steam, PS5, and Nintendo Switch 2. I'm telling you right now, it would be insane. And if this does not turn out to be the Switch release date, I'm almost guaranteed that there will be a functional port of it on the Switch release date. Like, let's say I'm wrong about the Switch releasing on May 15th and it releases on June 12th. Who cares? Okay? I'm guarantee you almost that the Doom Dark Ages is going to be there. Number one, it's already on PS5. Do you think they're not going to put it on Switch if they can? Wild One, we can no longer be friends because you said I don't think it will be good. We can no longer be friends. No, but seriously, this was my announcement of the whole showcase. And look, it is completely amazing. We got yes, it's only 4 games, but it was 5 games if you count the remaster of Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. And Ninja Gaiden, yeah, Ninja Gaiden Black 2. But it was still really, really amazing. And where I think that really they let things slide a little bit is the interview that Phil Spencer gave. Okay. Now, this, by the way, is from Nintendo Life. So shout outs to Nintendo Life. They do some great work on articles. They did a great job of summarizing the interview with Phil Spencer, which is why I'm going to use their article to highlight what was said. But basically, I'm going to go through the article with you guys, but since the Nintendo Switch 2's announcement last week, because don't forget, this is a week in the past, the Switch was announced the week before. Multiple companies have revealed that they'll be backing this next generation hybrid system. Now, Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer has officially confirmed Xbox's support. So they're confirming Xbox is there. They've released games for the Switch 1. They're going to be there for the Switch 2. Speaking on Gamertag Radio podcast this week, Spencer mentioned how Microsoft was really looking forward to supporting Nintendo with Xbox's software library. This continues Xbox's mission to bring more of the tech giant's games to more platforms. This is what Phil said. I want everybody to be able to play on Xbox, and it does mean more of our games shipping on more platforms. Not just PlayStation. We love the work that we do with Nintendo. We love what we do with Valve on Steam, and that's going to continue. We'll just continue to do more of it. Then Spencer also acknowledged how he has been in contact with Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa since the Switch 2 reveal, mentioning how he gave him a big congrats, while also noting how his old eyes appreciate the larger screen upgrade. Okay. We're all old here. I think my general audience is all 30 and above. We know what he means, okay? Bigger screens, better for us. Xbox boss also means that this opportunity to compliment Nintendo on its innovation, significance within the industry over the years, and the moves they make. Adding how he thinks the Switch 2 will be a massive success. I told you guys last week, I think the Switch 2 will surpass the Switch 1. I know a lot of people think I'm crazy. I know a lot of people think the Switch 1 is never going to be surpassed now. I think the Switch 2 will surpass it. Because it's coming in the gate with a library of games that has never been seen before. Every Switch 1 game is going to play on it on the same eShop available day one. There is no reason that if you're looking for a Switch, you're not going to buy a Switch 2 day one. Even if it's $100 more, you'd be dumb. Yeah, but that's only for the Americans. Canadians were fine. So tariffs only work the American way, dude. Doesn't work the other way around. And I confirmed with we're not going to get too much into tariffs tonight because I don't want to get into the political stuff. Like it's so like crazy right now that it like feels just like dumb to talk about it. But last week I talked about tariffs and I said I wasn't a tariff specialist. So I did talk into my company about a tariff specialist to make sure, like I was already 95% sure what I was saying last week. I wanted to be 100% sure, and I'm 100% sure how tariffs work. And it's just sad how they were sold to, it's sad how tariffs were sold to the public because they were completely misexplained. Like tariffs are paid by Americans. They're not paid by the Canadian government. It only basically sort of is a measure to promote buying local products over foreign products. But the problem is that local products, if your company's buying foreign products rather than local, that means the local products are already more expensive than the foreign products. So by raising so what tariffs do is they artificially raise the price of foreign products. But what that means is in the end, if you revert to local products, since your base product is more expensive, it's still going to cost more. Does that make any sense, like how it works? But like I can draw a picture for anyone that's interested, but we're going to keep this off the mainstream. We'll talk about it. If anyone wants to talk about tariffs and yeah, it's purely punitive, and it's punitive to the country that is doing the tariffs in a sense. But I'll explain it on, like, when we open up the cards. If you guys want to talk about it, for people that want to talk about it, we'll talk about it again, because I got it explained to me by like a tariff specialist, a person who does importing and exporting for tariffs, like exporting and importing and exporting between Canada and the US, and it is exactly what I thought it was. And I'll explain it after, like, for anyone who's really interested. I think a lot of people here, since we're like in an older age group, we probably already understand how it works, but like anyone who's interested, I'll take like 5 minutes to make a drawing and explain how it works. Like, I'm a visual person, so making a drawing helps me a lot to understand things. So yeah. But anyway, we're not going to get into that. Let's finish the article here, because I think the end is where it is. Who would ever bet against the success of that team? So he's like talking about the Nintendo team. I mean, they are just masterful in what they do. Switch is a massive success, and I think Switch 2 will be as well. So although there are no Game 2 announcements for the Switch 2 just yet, on the Microsoft front, Xbox has a done deal to revive the Call of Duty series on Nintendo platforms. Dude, we're going to be playing Call of Duty on Switch. That is going to be amazing. A rumor has also been floating around this week about the latest Diablo game potentially showing up on Switch 2. So that's Diablo 4. Which honestly would be really fun, because Diablo 4 is like a more casual Diablo, so it'd be really fun to play it. And guys, you know how I said that sort of leads into like our last part, that I wanted to talk about the application of this Switch 2 and the mouse? Call of Duty on the Switch, and now we're going to be able to use the Joy-Cons as a mouse. Think about it for 2 seconds. I was talking about FPSs last week. Think about Call of Duty on the Switch on a console with a mouse like a mouse working. Yeah, FPS is going to be amazing, but we're going to talk about a couple of more of those, because honestly, I think there's a couple we missed. So I just wanted to point this out, because Phil Spencer was very open about them being very close with Nintendo, talking to the president of Furukawa. I think they can have this happen. Doom as a release title on the Switch 2. And I'm going to tell you that if it happens, April 2nd, we're going to know. April 2nd, guys, I already booked the day off at work. Just to let you guys know. April 2nd, I'm already off. The day is off. I sent it out last week already. We're going to know. Okay? And I think, remember this, guys. If it turns out to be May 15th, I know a month is not that much of a lead up to the release of the Switch, but it could happen if they've been prepping long enough. And what I was saying last week as well, that was the big thing last week, is I think it's going to be May 15th with Doom Dark Ages. When Nintendo said that some games weren't ready, which was delaying the release of the Switch, it didn't necessarily mean that it was first-party games. It could have been deals that they had with third parties to have other games ready for it, so that the launch titles would not only be like 2 or 3 really great Nintendo games, but it would also have like 1 or 2 or 3 really great third-party games. So that is that. Last thing I want to talk about before we jump into the new games for this week, because yes, we have 10 new games to look at, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to count this time, because last week I messed it up. I said 8 and then there were 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 games for this week to look at. Give me just a sec here. That's not what I want to do. Okay, so just as a visual assistance, while I'm just going to replay the reveal trailer for the Switch 2. So, basically, hold on. Where's the... Let me just kill the sound here. Okay. So, as I said, one of the biggest features for the Switch 2 is most likely going to be the fact that there's a very strong possibility we're going to be able to use the Joy-Cons as mice. Now, we talked last week about how this is going to be revolutionary for things like FPS gaming, also RTS gaming, like things like basically city builders, park builders, RTS games. Who knows? We could get a port of something like Warcraft. Can you imagine playing Warcraft 3 on the Switch? Like, I know it's a freaking old game, but honestly, if you told me I could play Warcraft 3 on the Switch, I would play it. If you told me I could play StarCraft 2 on the Switch, I would play it. And Activision Blizzard would possibly not be against putting these games on a console that could get it done. However, there's a category of games that I totally forgot about when I was talking about this last week. Games like Mario Maker. I don't know if you guys ever tried to make a level in Mario Maker. I'm not saying it's hard. I'm just saying, can you imagine how much easier it would be with a freaking point and click mouse to make levels in a game like Mario Maker? Exactly where I was going with that, champ. You stole my ideas. Can you imagine if the next Mario Kart has a track maker? And you know how we've been waiting years and years for a Zelda maker, a 2D Zelda maker? What if Nintendo just didn't see it happening without the ability to use like a mouse-like attachment? And now we're going to have that ability. I talked about House of the Dead last week, Rovel. You're not going to steal my ideas, brah. I said House of the Dead would work perfectly with the mouse point clicker. But there's not only that. Oh, hold on. I didn't loop the trailer. There we go. Point and click adventures. I know it's maybe not the most popular genre, but there's been a lot of point and click adventure games coming out on the Switch lately. I think that would make the Switch the go-to console for point and click. And I know it sounds stupid, but that is a genre that is gaining in popularity. Meaning that if I had to guess, it would probably be one of the top consoles for point and click gaming. And I think that those are two genres that should not be overlooked. And and not only that, do you remember the Game Garage that Nintendo made to make your own games on the Switch? Imagine if we had a mouse to make it work. I tried to make games on the Game Garage. I made games on the Game Garage. It was so hard because you had to use a controller. When I say so hard, like not terribly hard, but it was definitely hamstringing the fact that you couldn't have a point and click mouse. Now imagine RPG Maker. Imagine Game Garage. Imagine a Zelda Maker finally. Imagine Mario Maker 3. Mario Kart, the next game, could have a Mario Kart Maker function. Like having the mouse controller could be such an open gate to some crazy things that we've never been able to see the light of day before and be like very efficient. That I think that is something we overlooked last time. And is something I think we should not overlook. We should not overlook whatsoever. And I'm going to tell you right away, most other consoles will follow suit after this. Most other consoles will most likely have a expansion. Roller Coaster Tycoon. Look, just this week they had a patch to add in touch control to the Monster Tycoon Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic. Zoo Tycoon. I love Zoo Tycoon. You know, I still have my CD for Zoo Tycoon. I have to look. I could maybe find it, but I still have my Zoo Tycoon 2 CD for Windows. I would love to see Zoo Tycoon come back in a It would have to be remastered though, because I looked at the graphics and yeah, it would. But it's just food for thought. I really wanted to come back quickly on, like, I'm not going to spend an hour on this because it's really like high level ideas right now. But I just think that first reaction, my gut reaction was FPS games and RTSs and builders. But after that, I realized that there are so many other applications that could work with that mouse attachment that probably were always hamstrung on consoles just because those attachments weren't existent. So now, just before we jump into the new games, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay? So I'm going to be gone for like 30 seconds a minute. I'm going to let you guys... I'm going to let the trailer play, and then we're going to get into the new Switch games for this week. And I'm going to tell you guys there are a lot of really good games this week. Like, if I look at my list right now, I have like 4 games that I'm really excited to play, and I would say at least 2 to 3 more that I am strongly, I'm really expecting them to be good games. I just won't have time to play. So I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we back. Yeah, okay, I know there's no sound. There's not supposed to be sound. I muted the trailer. Okie doke. So, we're back. Let's kill this. Okie doke. Yeah, the only thing I can see with the mouse controller thing is it's going to really kill the concept of the Nintendo Switch Lite. But I'm really wondering how successful the Lite was. I'll just be honest with you guys. I'm not sure it was as successful as Nintendo was expecting. I think most people ended up buying a regular Switch or a Switch OLED. I'd like to see the actual numbers of like Switch Lites compared to Switch OLEDs officially. I know some people have estimations, but I don't think it was as efficient as people thought. Yeah, exactly. It was Switch shortages, and it became often a second Switch, but yeah. I mean, I don't think it was as successful as people thought. Even people on the budget, yeah, I guess so. There was a significant price difference. I just bought, to be honest with you guys, I bought a Switch Lite before I bought a Switch. I just quickly saw the disadvantage of just having a Switch Lite, and almost like a month to a month and a half later, I bought like a complete Switch, and that's when I started the channel seriously like shortly after that. I'm gonna get a Switch 2 day one. Like I'm gonna do everything in my power to get a Switch 2 day one, and I'm not gonna like I don't want to sound like full of myself, but like I think with my hookups I can pretty much guarantee I'm gonna get one. Like I have some pretty decent hookups in the like, you know, gaming stuff where I'm pretty sure that, you know, I'm guaranteed that I'm gonna get a Switch 2 day one unless no Switch 2s are coming in at all. But basically, like on the pre-order list where I know people, I'll probably be like second or third on the list, and only behind like the store owners. Like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be fine for that. So I'm pretty sure, like, yes, I'm gonna have a Switch 2 day one. Like as a gaming channel, I have no choice. You know what I mean? Like I can't not have a Switch 2. And it's a little bit different. It's like a business. And although I'm not at all for supporting scalpers, let's just say it would come to that, I would probably find a way to pay the price needed to get a scalped one. Like if it would come to that, if everything goes to hell, but like 99% chance I won't need to do that, but I would do it because it's a business purchase, and it's the only reason I would pay a scalper price. Do you understand what I mean? So I don't support anyone paying a scalper price, but when you need it for a business, it's a little bit different. If it makes any sense. Like just because I can't have the Switch 2 come out and not be able to do content because I don't have a Switch 2. I don't think so, because a lot of content creators are gonna have hookups. Like a lot of content creators that I know, that I talk to, were generally, you undoubtedly meet people in the industry, like even a channel that is only like small to medium sized like mine, you meet enough people in the industry where you got an insight. And I'm gonna say something, and it's like I'm always a pretty amicable guy. Like if you ever meet me, and like I'm rarely a dick to people, okay? And I know it's gonna sound weird like saying it like that, but I am generally like, stores that I go to regularly, places that I go to regularly, it's very rare that I don't get to know the people that work there, and that I don't whatnot. And in life, being nice to people and being friendly to people and whatnot have always paid off double or triple what being like a dick or being a Karen pays off. Like being a Karen will pay off like once in a while, but being a nice guy means that I'll get, like, there's a reason why I'm getting Pokemon cards at like cost, like at normal cost, when normally the pack I got last week is going for 4 times the normal price. Normally I'm getting it for normal pricing. Why? Because I'm generally like, and it's not even like I'm faking or anything. It's just that's the way I am. I like being friendly with people. I like people. I like talking to people. I think it's not a surprise. Like streaming is talking to people. So I don't think it's a surprise that I like talking to people. My normal job, like you know, I have to keep a level of discretion because we do sign like contracts with our company where like we can't like on social media discuss directly the company, but like the company I work for is very based a lot around personal relationships. I wouldn't be able to do my job unless I was able to talk to a wide variety of people and get along with everyone. Exactly. The only person we actively hate here is Grovel. Okay? That is the only person. Like, if I met Grovel, I would just, like, give him the middle finger. Like, straight up. Straight up. Like, fuck you, Grovel. But no, I'm just saying in general. So, I'm just saying, like, I don't think that getting a Switch 2 is going to be an issue. If it becomes an issue, I will have to possibly pay what I'll have to pay to keep the channel going. You know what I mean? And I just wanted to be clear, like, if ever I do have to do that, it is not because I support scalpers in any way. Like, if you guys remember the PS5, I didn't get a PS5 till like a year after it came out, or a year and a half after it came out. Why? Because I refused to pay scalper prices. And even during that year and a half, I got offered 4 PS5s at regular price by like my hookups, and I just said no every time because I knew I wasn't going to play it right away, and I knew there were other people waiting for it that were going to play it. So I would always tell them no, but make sure you give it to someone who's not going to scalp it and that you know is going to play it. And every time that's what happened. And I know my hookup that they took the time to make sure that the person they sold it to was a real PS5 fan. Like a person that was going to play it. Not one of the scalpers that come in. Okay? But anyway, we're done with that part of the stream. That was my, like, what will happen for the Switch 2. Okay? Don't worry about it. We're going to have a Switch 2. So now, guys, we get to probably a very anticipated part of the show. We're getting to the brand new Switch games. So as usual, I'm going to do a little intro because this is going to be cut into a video for tomorrow. I'm going to do an outro at the end, but don't worry, the outro will not be the final outro. I'm going to take a few minutes to, you know, wrap things up before we jump into the Lorcana cards. So we're going to be double streaming tonight. And I have to download actually First, let's find a temporary thumbnail for the Lorcana stream really quickly. I just want a simple Lorcana. What is it? Which set is it? I forget. Into the Inklands. The Inklands. 1920 by 1080. I don't want to have to resize it. Go into images. Like, it's gonna be a temporary one. I'm gonna make a thumbnail for it after. I just didn't have time to think about it first. So let's just grab this. Does that make, yeah, let's just grab this. It'll be a simple thumbnail image, and I'll change it later. We good? We good. Grovel loves me, but he has a weird way of showing it. Yeah, I guess so. We'll leave it at that. And I mean, that's perfectly fine, French Mom. Like, turn-based is an acquired taste. Either you like it or you don't. It's really, like, impossible to... And that's one of those things. And that's why I said, like, I think a lot of companies are forgetting the concept of core audience. And they try to make games that appeal to everyone, when what ends up happening is the game appeals to no one. You know, when you try to make something for everyone... What ends up happening often is that it ends up being for no one. When what you should do is make it for your core audience and make certain little adjustments to try to increase that core audience. But never forget that, like, if you're not getting that core audience, they're the ones that are going to drive your game forward. And that's like, I'm saying games, but that's true for any industry. I think a lot of industries are forgetting their core audience. Cars are the same thing. Like cars sometimes now are trying to like put out models that are like a bit for everyone, when you should just focus on who are you actually selling your cars to normally. But anyway, okay, let's get into the new games for this week, because or else we're never going to get there, and we'll have plenty of time to talk while we're opening the cards later. So we'll like, for those of you who want to stick around and open the Lorcana cards with me and like try and price them out and everything, we're going to have like probably at least like 45 minutes after that to do that. Now Topaz is being vocal. She needs to quiet down. So hey everyone, and welcome back. So today we're going to be looking at the new Switch games coming out for this week. And I have 10 games to look at that I really think are top tier games for this week, and that definitely need a little bit of showcasing. So let's jump into the games, and don't forget, if you are liking the video, to hit the like button. Not too bad, right? Pretty good. Trying to shift it up a little bit. Now, okay. I'm going to make myself a little smaller for this. Make sure that we showcase the games as much as possible. So now, our first game for this week is going to be Tales of Iron 2: Whiskers of Winter. Now, I personally love the first game. I have some good news as well. I do have a review code for this game, so I will be jumping into it very, very soon. Maybe even streaming it on Friday. But I've got to say, this week has got a lot of competition for streaming, for what's going to be streamed on Friday. So I can't guarantee it yet. I want to wait till I really have a smorgasbord of everything available to me till I decide what we're going to stream. But basically, this is a 2D action game that has almost Souls-like combat to it. And what I love is, although the characters are anthropomorphic mice and rats, there's a storyline that is so deep and bloody that it almost reminds you of Game of Thrones. And from what I can tell from the trailer, the second one seems to be right along the same lines. So let's take a look. It's actually a pretty long trailer. This is going to be the longest trailer for today, but I think it's really worth it because it really tells us everything we need to know about the upcoming game. So let's take a look.
Sequel to the critically acclaimed action-adventure RPG, Tales of Iron 2 takes players on an epic voyage across the snow-ravaged
I really love
realms
the
of
art style
northern
as well.
wastes. Featuring intense combat, epic boss battles, and a heart-rending saga of bloodshed and loss.
And they just said it though, it is pretty difficult game, so make sure that if you do pick it up, it's going to be a game that's going to challenge you.
Dark Wings, once and for all. Behold, the northern provinces of the Ratdom, an altogether harsher land than the sun-kissed south. The native rats are a hardy bunch, carved from iron, ice, and a gnawing fear that the horrors of the past might one day return.
And like I said, I love the storyline in this game because you sort of forget halfway through that you're playing a rat.
So did this terrible evil finally flee its glacial imprisonment. Lord Eivor, Warden of the North, proves no match for their befanged leader. Leaving the fate of the kingdom resting with
Like I
his
said,
own
you can
heir.
immediately see the throwbacks to Game of Thrones.
But without
This game looks...
enough winters behind him, there's little chance he'll prevail against Kazakh alone. As the young defender of the realm, embark on an arduous journey across 6 distinct biomes, from the glistening groves of Golden Forest to the ice-bitten plains of White Whiskers, to reunite the scattered clans of the North. But whether it's the studious owls of Nestminster or the solemn merfolk of Bogmire Forge, you'll need to prove your worth to their leaders.
So I'm liking to see that we're getting into different clans and different than the first game, because the first game was really centered around the frogs and the rats.
Lands, ever eager to gorge themselves upon
And I say that, and
my
then
flesh.
immediately after we see a
They'll
frog.
take everything you've got to defeat, and even if you do gain the upper hand, there's always the chance these brutal behemoths will attempt to flee, ready to fight another day. Gather your strength, chase them down, finish the hunt, or take a much-needed rest yourself. Consult your trusty bestiary for crucial insights into a creature's strengths, weaknesses, and preferred hunting hours. Upon slaying such horrors,
Yeah, like I said, I think it was worth watching the full extended trailer here, just because I do think this is going to be one of the top games of this week.
Poison-resilient reptilian armor from the scales of a giant
Now, I
snake,
love this. The
and use
crafting
its fangs to craft
is a great addition
serpentine
here.
sword with a venomous bite.
You're also going to be able to check out the weaknesses and strengths of each of the enemies, adjust your weaponry like to those different enemies. It's a great like tactical addition.
From across the land, you can construct a number of buildings, including a cookhouse, where hearty meals will provide permanent stat buffs for a hungry warrior. And even ye olde eSHOP, stocked full of dangerous delights. Thanks to the hundreds of diverse weapons and armor sets awaiting discovery, you can fully customize your approach to combat. Long spears and lances allow for quick, nimble attacks, while hammers, heavy axes, and greatswords are slower to handle, but cause widespread desolation.
I freaking love the combat animations here. They're so visceral, and it really looks like you're damaging the enemies, because the enemies seem to react directly to the type of like attacks you're doing.
With a powerful collection of bows, crossbows, and even high-powered muskets. Whilst the tacticians among you might prefer to draw upon a selection of new, deadly traps, each dealing a different form of elemental damage.
Man, that was freaking awesome, man. You freaking blow his head off with a trap.
And of course, there's Elementa, a brand new magic system. As you progress through the world, you'll unlock and upgrade 4 devastating sorceries: thunder, poison, fire, and ice.
So that's playing directly into the weaknesses of the bosses.
These elemental abilities deal extensive damage and can turn the tide in desperate battle. Steel yourself. The future of the ratdom rests upon your pauldrons. Unite the disparate clans. Rebuild Winter's Edge. And wield the very power of the gods. Only then will you stand but a chance against the tyrannical Count Kazak and his infernal legions. Your tale.
Super excited for this game.
Tales of Iron 2, Whiskers of Winter.
Now, I forgot to say at the beginning, but this game is releasing on January 28th. So there's a strong chance that when you're watching this video, the game is already out. It's going to be selling for $24.99 for the regular version and $29.99 for the deluxe version, which basically gives you like an armor pack and some extra customization options for like a beard and different visual options. However, there is a really good thing to note is that there is a pre-order sale. So if you are watching the stream tonight as we're talking about this, it is 20% off on a pre-order. That's actually a pretty big pre-order discount, but you'll see it's going to be a theme for tonight. You can actually pick up the regular version for $19.99 or the deluxe edition for $23.99. So I rarely say pre-order a game, but this one I might actually recommend taking a chance on. So that was pretty much our first game for tonight. But I definitely think that if you're into challenging action, 2D action games, this one is going to most likely be a very strong entry. I did check out a few preliminary feelings for the game, and some people are saying it is on the track for the first game. However, I have seen that some people are saying it's slightly weaker than the first game, while other people are saying it's slightly better. So it does seem to be a little bit mixed. However, I haven't seen any that have not liked it. So I do think it's going to be a great pickup for this week. Now, that jumps us into our game number 2. Now, our game number 2 is also releasing on January 28th, so most likely it's going to be out by the time you're watching this video, and that is Cuisinier, which is a game that is releasing for $29.99. Now, this game has a really original concept, and immediately it reminds me of Dave the Diver, which is huge compliments. Now, is it going to be as good as that game? I'm thinking maybe not, but it does have the same type of blend where you're basically going to be doing some dungeon crawling during the day, and then you're going to be running a restaurant at night. However, the restaurant seems to be a little bit more hands-on than Dave the Diver, and rather than going under the sea to catch fish, you're going to be exploring through dungeons to get ingredients. Now, I love the mix of Dave the Diver. It was a great mix of like action when you're under the water and, you know, fun sort of admin gameplay when you're running the sushi shop. Now, this one feels like it has the same blend. If it can get just a little fraction of the same magic together, this could be a great pickup for this week. Let's look at the trailer and, you know, see if we have anything else to say. It obviously has a much more cutesy perspective to it, though. It's going for like the cutesy anime perspective, however. Yes, Moonlighter would be another very good comparison. Basically, mixing roguelike dungeon crawling with ultimately a management sim at night. It's just that the restaurant aspect sort of threw me back to more Dave the Diver because it's the restaurant aspect. But you're right, the moment-to-moment gameplay maybe reminds me even more of Moonlighter. And let's be honest, both of those comparisons are very big compliments, because Moonlighter's an excellent indie game, and Dave the Diver is fantastic. So this is releasing this week. Like I said, it will have a sales price of $29.99. There is a physical day one edition. Frenchie Mom says she picked up the collector's edition here, the day one edition that you see right now on the screen. I was very tempted to do so. I simply didn't because there were too many games this week. I wanted to have the budget to make sure I could pick up as many as possible. But you know what? If I find a day one edition, maybe in a week or two, that might be something I'll look into. But definitely a great consideration for this week, especially if you like that mix of like dungeon crawling / management sim. I do think this is going to be a slightly more laid back game. However, one that will be really addictive in its gameplay loop. So if that's the type of game you're looking for this week, $29.99 is not a bad investment here. I would have liked to see the digital edition at $25. I do think it would have been more competitive at that price, but $29.99 is still respectable. Okay? Now, that brings us to our next game for this week. And that is the Stone of Madness. Now, this game is also releasing on the 28th. It is our last game for the 28th. However, we have 7 other games after this that are releasing at future dates. This game will be selling for $29.99 for the regular version or $34.99 for the deluxe version. Now, by the way, the deluxe version this time around, you're looking at an art book and a soundtrack. So, food for thought, extra $5. Do you want that art book and soundtrack? Now, this game was actually featured in a Nintendo Direct, and it is sort of the mix of a stealth game with a sort of psychological background to it. It's a stealth tactical game. However, there's a big play on the psychology of the characters as you're all trapped in like this sort of prison-like environment, and you're trying to basically get out by manipulating the special abilities of each individual character. However, at the same time, these characters also share different weaknesses to psychological impacts, and you have to try to basically not trigger any of their psychoses. So it's a really funky game. I do think it's going to have a ton of potential. It's just a little bit sad that it's coming out in such a busy week on the indie side, because I do think it's maybe going to be overshadowed by some of the other games this week. But it does feel like a very, very interesting concept.
It is the year of our Lord, 1799. I write these lines from a lost monastery in the Pyrenees, whose name and existence few know. Although I came here as a guest, I am now a prisoner. Monastic life goes on.
I'm not gonna lie, I love the art style. It reminds me of like the 90s cartoons. Like there was a Lord of the Rings Hobbit cartoon that was done like this, or Lord of the Rings cartoon. Reminds me of that sort of art style.
Monastery be dedicated to the care of the insane and the sick. Madness and despair, conveniently kept away from civilization's sight. But there is something else, something darker. Luckily, I am not alone. A group of companions and I are planning our escape. Behind the walls of our cell, we have discovered a hidden room, from which we are in preparations for a desperate escape. We must confront violence, corruption, and our own fears. I am Father Alfredo Martin, and I have been locked up for trying to expose the corruption in this place. Thus begins our tale. May God have mercy on our souls, or whatever is left.
Hold on. I took the wrong trailer. I wanted the gameplay trailer. Give me a second here. We're gonna Stone of Madness. I took the wrong link. That is my bad. We're gonna edit this later. We wanted the
rated teen.
They locked me up when I learned the truth.
My bad. So we're gonna see a little bit of gameplay here.
I have met others that will assist me. Others that want to flee. We are planning our escape. And everyone has their role to play.
So as you can see, you have to manipulate the abilities of different characters. And it's almost Diablo-esque, I find, in its like skill tree and things. But obviously, it's going to be a very different style of gameplay.
What happened here? This place is cruel, unnatural, like a maze that never ends. Our minds have become as much of a prison as the crumbling walls of this monastery. We must find a way out. We must escape.
Yeah, you're right. This game could actually profit probably from the Switch 2 mouse.
Of this place.
So there we go. That was a little bit of the gameplay for the game. But definitely, I think one that is definitely important to keep an eye on for this week. However, I just feel it's going to be overshadowed by other games this week. If it was coming out on a week where there were less like funky indie games already coming out, it would have had probably more success. But I don't want to discount this game because it is nonetheless probably going to be pretty solid. Someone mentioned it, but it is the same developers that did Blasphemous. So you sort of know it's probably going to be good. But definitely one I think we should keep an eye on. It's also in a weird price point at $29.99 and $34.99 for an unknown property in a style of gameplay that is maybe not like, it doesn't jump out at you at first as an excellent sort of gameplay style, but still keep an eye on this one. If you are in the mood for like funky gameplay for this week, I do think this one could be a very promising title. Now, jumping into the opposite spectrum of things, we're going to be looking at Hello Kitty Island Adventure that is releasing on January 30th and will have a sales price of $39.99 for the regular version or $59.99 for the deluxe version, which, by the way, has a bunch of unique items and stuff that comes with it. But ultimately, I took a look at what comes with the deluxe version. If you are going to be a fanatic about this game and you're going to want to personalize your island as much as possible, you're going to want to jump into the deluxe version because, like I said, it's apparently going to have a ton of unique items that is exclusive to the deluxe edition. But basically, this is like Hello Kitty's take on Animal Crossing. The craziest thing about this game is that about 18 years ago, South Park made a joke that they were playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure, and 18 years later, the game actually comes out. So it's like crazy to think that South Park predicted the future, and you sort of wonder if these developers actually watched that episode and called it Hello Kitty's Island Adventure. But either way, we're going to take a look because I've got to say, if you're into this style of gameplay, till another Animal Crossing comes out, this one might actually have some potential, and it does have some unique things that Animal Crossing does not have. So let's take a look at the trailer. It's going to be an acquired taste. You're either going to love this trailer or you're going to hate it. I've got to say, visually, I'm impressed, though. Like, the visuals are pretty clean. See, there seems to be a little bit of dungeon exploration mixed in, which is where I said it does something really different than Animal Crossing. Like, you saw it briefly there, but there seems to be a little bit of dungeon exploration. But if not, as I said, you can see that the rest of this is very heavily Animal Crossing inspired. And look, let's be honest, the Hello Kitty property fits in perfectly with this. So it's not like a totally unknown property that they're trying to make fit into something that shouldn't fit into it. It is ultimately, it works. It works. So the question is, how deep is the gameplay going to go? Is it going to be worth that $40 price tag for the regular game and $60 for the deluxe version? However, you know what? I do think that, like I said, if you're in the market for this kind of game, if you're a fan of Hello Kitty, I know a couple of girls that love Hello Kitty. I do think it could be a decent game for this week to pick up. It's either you're gonna be interested or you're not for this one. You know, it's one of those, like, you're into it or you're not. Okay, so that is done. Next, we have one of the games that I am extremely excited to play for this week, And when I said that I'm not sure I'm going to be playing Tales of Iron 2 on Friday, it's because this is one of the contestants to possibly take that spot. And that is a Leica Aged Through Blood, which is coming out on January 30th. It's going to be selling for $19.99 as a regular price. But get this, there's a pre-order discount of 35% off, dropping it to $12.99. That is a huge pre-order discount. And not only that, the game is delivered by Thunderful Games, that, by the way, for amongst which publishes the SteamWorld games, which are very high quality games, and many other very high quality games. So there's a strong possibility that this game is going to deliver a very good experience. So it's not like it's being published by an unknown property. And this is basically being described as a Western-inspired Motorvania. Okay? So it's a Metroidvania, but you are the whole time riding a motorcycle. It looks crazy. The art style is insane. Let's take a look at the trailer. This game has me extremely intrigued. And don't worry, we get an animated intro, but we do get a lot of gameplay as well. The music is amazing. It's hard to get a hang of how the gameplay works out, but there's something about it that is just so engaging. Like, just seeing it. By the way, the game is already out on Steam, and it seems to be very well received. So I do think there's going to be a high potential for this one. I'm extremely excited. It seems such like a funky concept that it's either going to work and be amazing, or it's gonna hit flat. But I do think that this one is going to hit well. It's going to be a good game. Hopefully. However, I definitely think that if you don't want to take the risk for the pre-order at $12.99, that's an extremely attractive price as well. I'm not going to lie. Even the $19.99 at full price seems to be very, very decently priced. I think they want to be aggressive to put this game out there and that people take a chance on it. But the $12.99 feels like they're trying to make sure that people pick up this game in a busy week, and they have confidence that if you pick it up, the word is going to get out that the game is good. I feel that that's their strategy with this one, and I think that's a very good strategy for this game, especially that it's, like I said, the concept is a little bit out there, and people need like that extra motivation to pick it up. So if you want to take a chance, I would say this is the one for this week. However, you can wait for a review, obviously, or maybe even I'll be playing it on Friday. It might be worth waiting if you don't want to take that risk. Next, we are looking once again at January 30th, and we are looking at Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero. Now, this is a follow-up to a PS2 game, which was Phantom Brave. I actually have that on a Nippon Ishi collection. It is, once again, this one coming to us from Nippon Ishi as well. Now, the regular edition of this game is going to be a full-price game. It is $60. It is $59.99. There is a deluxe edition. However, the deluxe edition is $109.99. There is, however, also a free downloadable demo on the eShop. So the good news is you can try this game out for free. There is a demo available. Before we get into the trailer and we look at the gameplay, I do want to mention that Nippon Ishi needs to stop with these overpriced deluxe editions. I've said it many times before for Nippon Ishi games. I love their games. I was a huge fan of every game since the PS2 that they've put out almost. However, they are starting to feel like they're abusing their loyal fans with these crazy deluxe editions that are $50 above the regular edition. And honestly, it just feels like they're trying to gouge their loyal fans. I have no price paying an extra $10, $15 for a deluxe edition if you're giving me exclusive things like art books and whatnot. But for a digital deluxe edition, $50 extra just doesn't make sense. It is too much, and it makes it feel like you're trying to gouge your loyal fans. I'm going to say that. To me, that's my feeling. It's not going to prevent me from liking the game or playing the game, but I do think some people are going to start resenting the fact that you do this, and they do it a lot for a lot of their games. So I'm done. That was my rant on like the deluxe edition being way overpriced in my opinion. But ultimately, let's take a look at the gameplay, because I do still think that they make excellent strategy RPGs. If you didn't know, this is a strategy RPG. They are most well known for the Disgaea series and Phantom Brave. You'll see a lot of similarities to Disgaea because the base concept is the same. It's a strategy RPG. However, the Phantom Brave uses very different mechanics also for its combat. So let's take a look at the trailer and see what the game has to offer. So this one is going to have a pirate sub-theme through it.
A world dotted with countless islands of all shapes and sizes. A girl embarks on an adventure, accompanied by the souls of the dead.
So Phantom Brave obviously has to do with summoning phantoms but you'll see.
Providing aid to those in need.
Yep, that's me. Who are you?
You'll go no further. For her sake, I will not fail.
But one day, the duo is separated when they are attacked by a fleet of ghost ships.
And you'll see there's a really interesting concept during the fights with the different spirits that you'll acquire.
Apricot, the daughter of a legendary pirate.
Please, somebody help this girl! Please!
In hopes of reuniting with Ash, Marona decides to team up with Apricot. But first,
don't worry, there's going to be some gameplay in this trailer.
That defeated the ghost fleet once before. As pirates and ghost ships terrorize the seas, the tale of a girl and her bond with phantoms unfolds before your very eyes.
It's obviously very heavily anime inspired, but Nippon Ishi has some very nice visuals to their games. And I've got to say, this one looks like probably one of their best games on the visual side.
Anything and everything can become an ally. Confine the souls of your allies into weapons and natural objects to summon them in battle. Your choices about what, when, and where to confine your phantom friends bring limitless strategic options.
So it's really fun because you basically infuse the spirits into different objects.
And buggies to cannons, a pirate classic, to add them to your crew.
And it'll create different effects.
Pull off a show-stopping transformation by confining souls into yourself to turn the tide of battle.
And you can obviously infuse them into your character, which will give your character different abilities.
Seize the limit.
Chartreuse! Yeah!
Stealing powers? Just who are you?
Hey! Are you a phantom that can speak? I'm a phantom. I can't talk to anyone or touch anything. Apricot, please trust me. Now fight by my side. Wait, Ash?
I am Gray, not Ash.
So that's pretty much the Phantom Brave, the Lost Hero. Now, there is one sort of warning, but it's not really a warning. It could be a positive for some people, is that generally, if you've never played a Nippon Ishi strategy RPG, they are known for being very deep and very long games. So this is a game that sometimes you can play through the storyline, I would say in about 60 hours for the average game, but generally as well, if you want to go really deep, unlock a lot of side quests and side things, you can easily pour hundreds of hours into most of their games and still not see everything. And like they said, there's often an infinite possibility of combos of abilities. They are very well known for that. The fighting eventually often also goes over the top on damage and tactics and whatnot. But overall, they are extremely fun games if you're into the strategy RPG genre. If you've already played a Nippon Ishi game, you won't need any convincing. If you haven't played one, I would say this is probably going to be an excellent place to jump on, because Phantom Brave hasn't had a follow-up in like over 20 years. So this is probably going to be a reset point for the series as well. Like, they're probably going to introduce the tactics and all that. If not, you can always try out one of the Disgaea games first when they go on sale, get a feel for the way they do their games, and either you're going to love it or you're going to hate it. And if you love it, you're probably going to be a fan for life of their games, picking up a game every now and then and playing the crap out of it. So Phantom Brave, The Lost Hero is definitely a top release for this week, in my opinion. Like I said, just Nippon Ishi, if you watch any of this, please lower the price of your deluxe editions. Don't make your fans feel like they're being like basically cash cows ultimately. Okay, so we are more than halfway there. We've got 4 games left. So next we are going to be looking at the there's more games on the 30th. 30th is the big day for this week. So next we're going to be looking at A Right from the Stars. Now this is my long shot for this week. Now I know I said Laika I was unsure of, but Laika I am strongly on the side that it's most likely going to be good. A Right from the Stars is my long shot for this week. Now, this game is going to be releasing, as I said, January 30th. It's going to have a regular sales price of $11.99. Now, it seems to be a heartfelt action adventure puzzle game. We're going to take a look at the trailer, but I do feel that if this game has been remastered in a decent way, it could really flesh out some of the things, because the original game had sort of mixed reviews from what I can see, but there weren't that many reviews available. However, people said that there were really high, like the high points were high points, the low points were unfortunately low. If they iron those out in the remaster, we could be looking at something decent. Let's take a look. It sort of reminded me slightly of The Last Campfire when I was watching the trailer, which is why, like I said, if I had a long shot for this week, it would probably be this one, or maybe the next game we'll be looking at as well. Now, some of the comments said that the platforming needed some smoothing out. I'm hoping that in the remastered version, they did work on that. So like I said, it is a long shot for this week, but I like taking a chance every week and highlighting a game that maybe at first glance a lot of people are going to look over, but in my opinion has some potential to maybe surprise us. And for me, I think A Right from the Stars is going to be one of those games for this week. We, however, do have our next game that does fall in the same category. For just to wrap up a right from the stars before we jump in, though, I do think I would wait for a review for this one. Like, I wouldn't spend the $12 till I'm pretty sure that the few issues that were mentioned were ironed out, like the platforming being like sort of a little rough around the edges. Now, our next game is also what I would call a long shot. However, I would say that this one is a safe long shot. And that is Basureros, which is Basureros Invasion, which is a 2D action platformer inspired, I would say, it feels very inspired by Mega Man. However, the big attractive point of this one is not only does the game offer you 4 different playable characters with different abilities, but you can even play in up to 4-player co-op. And a Mega Man style action platformer that you can play in co-op seems like an extremely attractive notion to me. And this one is going to be releasing on January 30th as well, and we will be selling for $12.49. Yes, trash invasion, basically. But you'll see it does feel like it has a ton of potential here. The gameplay looks good if you're into retro style gaming. It doesn't look like a revolutionary game. It just looks like extremely solid. And I said 4 playable characters, but I just saw that there are 7 playable characters. So I got that wrong. That is my mistake. 7 playable characters up to 4 at once. Yeah, it definitely has Rick vibes. This is like one of my games, you know? This is one of the games that I like to play and that no one else is gonna like except me. And there's even cart levels, guys. You know how I love cart levels. So there we have Basureros Invasion that I think, if you're into retro style gaming and you just want a fun action platformer, as long as the controls are solid and responsive, I do think this one is going to scratch an itch for some people out there. I do want it, like I said, I like highlighting games that other people will not talk about, and I do think this one might have some potential. I'm going to try to play it for this week. I think the developers are offering codes up. I'm going to try to get one. I'm not sure I'm going to have... I don't think it feels like a streaming game, like that we're going to stream live. But I am maybe going to try to do a little highlight piece on it if the game turns out, you know, decent one. Or on the opposite end, not decent. I'll do a highlight piece just to warn against it. But, I mean, hopefully we're going to be looking at it on the positive side of things. But this one, January 30th, $12.49, pretty on the pretty budget end as well. I would have liked to see it at $10 though, to be honest. Like, I know it's only $2.50 extra, but I think at $9.99 it mentally would make it a much easier chance to take for a lot of people. That way, when you put it 50% off, it hits that under $5 mark and it becomes even easier to suggest. Okay, our last game for January 30th. And I'm going to be honest, I almost didn't include this game on the list because I couldn't find an English trailer for it. And I'm not quite sure why, but every trailer is either in Japanese or Korean. However, the gameplay concept seems so original that I do think we need to keep an eye on this one as well. This is the kind of game, however, definitely wait for a review. Because it can either hit the mark and be incredibly original in its gameplay and an absolutely phenomenal like gameplay experience, or it could really try to do too many things and miss the mark. And that is Kamibako, that is coming out on January 30th and is going to have a sales price of $29.99. Now, I'm also going to say $29.99 is pretty expensive to just take a blind shot on, which is why I'm saying wait for a review for this one. But let's take a look at the gameplay. And I think that, like I said, there is so much potential here. However, it's trying to do so many things that it could also, unfortunately, become a problem. And unfortunately, we can't understand what they're saying in the trailer, or at least I can't. But it's supposed to be a mix of RPG, building, puzzle game. Like, basically, it's almost everything.
그곳에서 만나는 동료들과 함께 세계를 복구하라. 단편화된 토지를 복구하고 새롭게 시작하는 마을. 작은 마을을
So like you see there's like city builder elements. It's reminding me a lot of, I just want to pause it for a second. Like, it was giving me vibes from the Mana series, the game where you have to sort of like create, you create different environments and you sort of link them together in different ways. It seems to be like a more modern, evolved concept of that game. It is Legend of Mana. Thank you so much, Champ Dancer. Legend of Mana vibes. I think that's what I was getting from this game, and that's why I got attracted to it, even though I couldn't find an English trailer for it. But by the way, the game on the eShop says it's going to have full English, so that's why I don't understand why there isn't an English trailer available.
그리고 여정에 방해되는 적을 쓰러뜨려 얻은 소재로 무기와 방어구의 제작까지.
So there's very clearly RPG elements here. There's very clearly like city builder elements. And there's also puzzle gameplay, because I saw, oh, we're going to see here. You have very clearly puzzle gameplay as well. I don't know if we'll see it in this trailer, but I can guarantee you in other trailers there are real, like, the screen becomes a whole puzzle.
여행의 시작에서 두 가지의 모습 중 하나를 고르고 나면 여신의 선택을 받은 당신의 장엄한 모험이 바로 여기서 시작된다. 월드크래프트 RPG 카미바코 1월 30일 정식 출시.
So there we have Kamibako. Like I said, I really wish there would have been an English trailer. Unfortunately, this is what we have to work with for this week. I almost didn't include it on the list because of that. But at the same time, I found it sad to not include a game that looks very interesting because of that reason. But developers, can we please get if your game's coming out in English, can we please get an English trailer? Like, worst comes to worst, put the subtitles in English or something like that. But I have the English CC on, by the way. It wasn't translating it. So I'm sorry, guys. That's what we have to deal with. But nonetheless, Kamibako, Mythology of Cube, coming out on January 30th for $29.99. And I would definitely say it could turn out to be one of those like games that falls under the radar at first and then ends up being an absolutely fantastic game. Now, our last game for this week is going to be one coming out on January 31st, so last day of January, Citizen Sleeper 2. Now, if you haven't seen Citizen Sleeper 1 on the eShop, it is an absolutely great sci-fi game. This is a dice-driven RPG. Now, if it measures up even partially to the first one, this could be a really, really great game. It'll be selling for $24.99. And there will be a pre-order discount, bringing it down to $22.49. Now, I'm repeating Citizen Sleeper, January 31st. And let's take a look at the trailer. And if these comments are true, that it improves on the original, like the original game, just to be clear, was already like an 8 out of 10 on the eShop. Like I said, it's a dice-driven RPG. Extremely unique gameplay mechanics. You really have to play it to understand the gameplay mechanics. But I can tell you right away, it's unique, but once you get into it, very understandable as well. The cyberpunk aesthetic is also extremely well done in the game. I think they do a great blend of, like, you know, occasional, like, highlights of really great artwork when you see the characters. At the same time, they really sell you the cyberpunk aesthetic during the gameplay. Sorry, I forgot there's a little bit. I think it's just a launch date. Okay. But yeah, so this is the last game for this week. Citizen Sleeper 2. It's really hard to get a feel for the gameplay from the trailer. But trust me, if you are into RPGs with a very original gameplay format, this is going to be a great game. If you're unsure, wait till Citizen Sleeper 1 is on sale. You can pick it up for super, super cheap on the eShop when it is on sale. Try it out. And then you have the second one to wait for when you fall in love with the first one. This is definitely, however, not a game to sleep on. I think it is going to be an excellent game for this week, releasing on January 31st. So that was pretty much it for our new Switch games for this week. You know what? 10 games, and I've got to say, out of the 10 games, I am extremely excited for at least 4 to 5 of the games, with another 2 or 3 extremely high potential and maybe 1 or 2 long shots. So this week is, I would say, an extremely strong week for indie games on the Nintendo Switch. We are lucky that we are eating this well into the last year of the Nintendo Switch. Like, sometimes these last little bits are dead or like really bland, and we are getting a lot of really great games with original gameplay, gameplay principles. So as usual, as every week, let me know in the comments down below if you think I forgot any games. Let me know what games you are super excited to pick up for this week as well. And as usual, I hope I'll see all of you in my next video. I'm back. No. I hit the wrong button. My bad. I just wanted to mark the stream and I hit the button for pause the stream. My bad. Sorry, guys. But hey, not too bad, for this week. Honestly, like, a lot of solid games. And seriously, what do you guys think? Like, who thinks I should play Tales of Iron and who thinks I should play Laika on Friday? I think I'm going to do a quick poll in the chat. I want to know what you guys think. Let me just try and get it working here. Let me get a quick poll. So choice number 1 is Laika. I'm going to say the Motorvania, okay? Just so people know what it is. And number 2 is Tales of Iron 2. Which one will I die the most in? That's hard to tell because they both seem like they have challenging combat systems. So I'm going to run that for like 5 minutes about while we wrap things up before we start the Lorcana card openings at 1 a.m. at a quarter after 1. Okay, guys? Honestly, I have to do this now, and I know like Corey's like, you're making me stay up late, but it's really because honestly, I don't like, you know, the 9 packs that we did on Friday were fine because that took like 15-20 minutes, but like 24 packs is going to take way too long before a stream, and it's going to cut into the game time. Like 15-20 minutes I don't mind, but you know, like let's say 45 minutes to an hour and then only playing the game for like an hour and a half would sort of suck. And I really am not sure I'm going to have time to stream separately this week, like another time. And not only that, but going live just for that during like, let's say prime hours where I could be playing a game or doing something else feels like a little, you know, like not a, like a little bit of a waste. I just want to see something. Okay, that I see that. I'm checking out my, because honestly, I don't play around with the stream a lot, and I'm trying to take a look. Trying to take a look at different like options that I have. I'm gonna be naming a couple of people moderators, okay, in the chat, because like I realize that we do have like I don't think we're gonna look. I'm lucky for the moment. My chat is not a problematic chat. Like we don't need to ban people or do anything, but I do want a couple of people that are moderators. Champ Dancer, you are gonna be can review and remove. Can manage blocked words. Chat modes also has capable of standard moderators. Okay, you're gonna be a moderator. Okay, it doesn't oblige you to do anything. Just so you understand, it doesn't oblige you guys to do anything. Frenchie Mom, you're gonna be a moderator. It's just that if ever, for example, let's say I'm doing something where I don't see the chat and you see someone spamming like links to like porn, or you see people, you know, just being like general guidelines. I don't want you to ban or block anyone for just like disagreeing with me or saying like, you know, like, like the guy the other time that was like, hey, Sony needs to save the Switch and stuff like that. That's not bannable stuff. But like if someone's being like overtly aggressive with everyone, that would be it. Like you guys can ban Grovel at any time. I'm not done, by the way. I'm just sort of, as we're talking, going through quickly what being a moderator is. Wild One, you as well. You're going to be a moderator. And if you're not chosen today, don't feel Annie's going to be a moderator. Add as a moderator, managing moderator. So if you're not chosen today, like don't take it personally. It's just like I can't have like 25 moderators either. I'm just going with people that are here very, very often and that I know. Scott, you too. Give me a sec. Add as moderator. And look. Even though I sort of disagree, Grovel's gonna be a moderator. Oh, he's gone. I have to wait till he's here next time. Guys, remind me next time to make him a moderator. And like for the moment, I'm gonna go with that just because I just want like 3 or 4 people that can do that. Just so you know, like most of because I had moderators before, but actually there might be a couple of people that are still moderators in the chat. So like please don't take it personal. Like it's being a moderator is just like whatever, you know what I mean? It's like just to help me if I'm not like I don't want to diminish shit for people that are. Oh, Nanaki, you too. You're always here. It's more people that I know, like I know that over time are always here, and also that like I trust that have never been like you know, I don't think you guys are gonna be like, hey, I'm drunk with power, I'm gonna start banning random people or whatnot. Yeah, Naki's like always like first person in the chat. So, and like I said, over time I'm gonna be adding more. Okay, so if you are super interested in being a moderator and you're like, you know, oh, why didn't he choose me or something? Okay, well, Corey, I'll make you a moderator, but I'll remove it after the polls. Here you go. You're a moderator, but it'll be gone after the polls. Okay, there we go. Deal? I'm joking. You're, but you're right. I did. I made you a moderator. Like, if you are like dissatisfied and you really want to be a moderator, write to me on Discord. Okay, if like, let's say you were really like, oh, could I be a moderator, and you're sort of disappointed that you're not, write to me on Discord. But please don't take it personally. It has nothing to do. It's just really people that I know are like always here, so that I don't have to nominate like 25 different moderators. Oh, and thank you so much. Scott Wood has become a member. Oh, Frenchie Mom gifted a membership. Thank you so much, Frenchie Mom, and welcome Scott Wood to the supporters, to the channel supporters. Okay, guys. So, look, we're not going to waste too much time wrapping up the regular stream because we're going to jump straight into the unboxing. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut down the stream, and in about like 2 to 3 minutes, you're going to see it pop up, okay? I just have to let the stream like refresh. I have to put out the stream replay. It's still going to be on the normal channel for the moment, and then we're going to start it up on you should get the notification that the stream is back up. Okay, so see you got. Oh, and let's end the poll first. So what wins? What wins? Oh, Leica actually won 58 to 41. So I'll be trying to get a review code for Leica. I'll try to get a review code for Leica. I can't 100% guarantee it's going to be Leica, but look, this has just pushed it way more towards Leica. So I'll see you guys, for everyone who's coming back, in just a couple of minutes.